Okay, now we're going to do a calculus derivative using the chain rule. This is our first example of the chain rule. This video assumes that you've learned the basic rules of derivatives, which are in a previous video, and you've done some examples with simple derivatives. So there's two videos you should have performed previous to this one. So here's our question. F of x is the square root of x cubed plus x, and we're going to take its derivative. We're going to use the chain rule. Chain rule is the following. F of g of x's derivative is the derivative of f applied to g of x. Notice this isn't g prime in here, this is just g, so we do not change g, times the derivative of g of x. So let's see how this would apply. First, before I do any derivative, I'm going to rewrite this. We didn't have rules with square roots, so I'm going to rewrite square root as a power. F of x is x cubed plus x to the 1/2 power. So now we're ready to do the derivative. We have f of g of x. Our outside function here, or the first one we run into, is 1/2 power. We have something to the 1/2 power. This is going to be my g of x. So you'll notice I do the derivative of the half power, ignoring the inside, ignoring the x cubed plus x. Well, something to the 1/2 power. The power rule, as you'll recall, x to the n is an example of it. The derivative is n times x to the n minus 1 from prior work. So the power comes out in front, 1/2 times x cubed plus x. 1/2 minus 1 would be negative 1/2 power. Write a little better for you. So negative 1/2 power. We've done the power rule here applied to the outside. So we've done this part, f prime of g of x, and we've ignored g of x. But of course the chain rule is not finished. It says times g prime of x. So we take the derivative of this internal part that we've ignored. So times the derivative of x cubed plus x. Delay actually doing it just to write out the form. Taking the derivative of the outside function, or the first function, f, 1/2 times this thing to the negative 1/2 power, we've ignored it, times its derivative. So we've applied that form perfectly. And the only thing remaining is take the derivative of x cubed plus x. So this part doesn't change. We may simplify in a moment, but for now we'll just leave it alone. Here's a common mistake, and I'll make it and then I'll correct it. X cubed, 3x squared is its derivative, plus 1. Well, here's the problem. It's times the derivative of this thing, the entire derivative of it. The way we've written our answer here, the only part being multiplied would be the 3x squared. So we really must keep this parenthesis so that the first part, f prime of g of x, is times the entire derivative of g prime. And that's my final answer down to simplification. The derivative part's over. Might become simplified later. The 1/2 power would put that on the bottom. 2 is already on the bottom. So we would have 2 over x cubed plus x to the 1/2 power, and 3x squared plus 1 on top. So you might see it simplified like that in an answer book if this problem were a textbook problem. And then a formal mathematician in the old days, they might have gotten upset about the root on the bottom, so they might have actually rationalized the denominator. Not so much my concern in this class. So this line would be fine for me. We're derivative free, and this line is another version of the answer you might see. Thank you very much for watching this video, and continue your practice of calculus.